Namaste dear children and welcome to Story Time. Today's story is taken from SriRamakrishna's Kathamrita, which is Mahendranath Gupta's living record of Bhagwan SriRamakrishna's conversations with devotees, explaining the most difficult concepts of devotion, and often he did this with the help of stories which continue to leave an indelible impression in the minds of all those who are blessed to read this holy book. This story, which Bhagwan narrated, is about the snake that never hissed. Well, weird, isn't it? Snakes are always known to hiss and bite, as they themselves are scared of men, and they think if we don't bite humans, they will kill us. Now let's see why our friend snake stopped hissing. There was a village where some cowherd boys used to take their cows for grazing in a meadow. There also lived a highly poisonous snake. These boys were always on the alert because of the snake. One day, a Rishi was walking along the meadow. The boys ran to him and said, "Oh Maharshi, please don't go that side. A poisonous snake lives over there." Then the Maharshi said, "What can it do to me if I leave him alone without disturbing it, my dear children? I am not afraid. I know some mantras to keep all danger away from me. So you do not worry." And he walked further down. The cowherd boys, being scared, did not accompany him. In the meantime, the snake moved swiftly towards the Maharshi with an upraised hood, ready to bite. Normally, it never tolerates anyone walking in its territory. As soon as it came closer, the Maharshi sensed and recited a mantra. The snake instantly fell at his feet like an earthworm. The Maharshi looked at the snake and asked, "Why do you go about harming everyone for no reason? Come, I will give you a holy word. By repeating it, you will soon develop an immense love for God. Ultimately, you will have His darshan and you will get rid of your violent nature." Saying this, he taught the snake a holy word and initiated him into a spiritual life. The snake bowed before the Maharshi and said, "Maharshi, will I be able to practice spiritual disciplines and realize God? I am just a crawling creature." The Maharshi said, "Listen, you will surely be successful. Repeat that sacred word and remember, you should not bite and harm anyone." As he was about to leave, the saint said, "I shall see you again sometime later. Continue with your japa and spiritual practices that I had taught you." Some days passed and the cowherd boys noticed that the snake stopped hissing and biting. They began pelting stones at it out of curiosity. Still, it showed no aggression or did it ever raise its hood in defense. It behaved as if it was just a meek earthworm. One day, one of the boys came close to it, saw that it was still very quiet, and so he wanted to have fun. He caught it by the tail and, whirling it round and round, thrashed it again and again on the ground, and finally threw it away at a distance. The cowherd boy wanted to display his heroism and courage to his friends. The snake was badly injured and became unconscious. It could not move and it was in terrible pain. So, thinking it was dead, all the boys went away. Late at night, the snake came back to its senses. Slowly, with great difficulty, it dragged itself into its hole. Its bones were broken. It could hardly move. Many days passed by in this state, and the snake became just skin and bones. Now and then, at night, it would come out in search of food. For fear of the boys, it would not leave its hole during the daytime. Since it received the sacred word from the Maharshi, it had completely given up its hissing and biting nature. It survived just upon dirt, leaves, and the rare fruit that dropped from the trees. About a year later, the Maharshi came that way and inquired about the snake. The cowherd boys told him that it was dead. But the Maharshi did not believe them. He knew for sure that the snake will not die before realizing God, because that's the power of the holy word with which it had been initiated. He started searching here and there and finally called it aloud by the name he had given it. Hearing the Maharshi's voice, it came out of its hole and bowed before him with great reverence. "How are you?" asked the Maharshi. "I am well, Swami," replied the snake. But Maharshi asked, "What have you done to yourself? You are terribly thin. It looks as if you are almost about to die." Then the snake replied, "Swami, you ordered me not to harm anybody. So since then I have been living only on leaves and fruits. Perhaps that has made me thinner." The Maharshi understood that the snake had developed the purest quality of devotion called sattva. It could not be angry with anyone anymore. It had totally forgotten that the cowherd boys had almost killed it. The Maharshi said, "It can't be mere want of food that has reduced you to this state. There must be some other reason. Think a little." Then the snake tried to remember that the boys had thrashed and hit it against the ground. It said, "Yes, now I remember. The boys one day hit me violently against the ground. They are ignorant children after all. They didn't realize what a great change had come over my mind. How could they understand that I wouldn't bite or harm anyone. Then the Maharshi was shocked. He rebuked the snake. What a shame! You are such a fool. You don't know how to protect yourself. I asked you not to bite, but I never told you to stop hissing altogether. You should have easily frightened the boys simply by hissing. You must hiss at wicked people. You must frighten them. But yes, you should never ever inject your venom into them. In this creation of God, there is tremendous diversity. Men, animals, trees and plants. Among animals, some are as gentle as the cow and some are ferocious like the tiger. Some trees bear fruits that are sweet and others bear fruit that are bitter and poisonous. Likewise, among human beings, there are both the good and the wicked, the holy and the unholy. There are some who are devoted to God and others who are attached to the world. So understand their nature and act accordingly. SriRamakrishna narrated this story to his devotees, saying, a man living in the society should make a show of tamas only when absolutely necessary. This is in order to protect himself from evil-minded people. So, dear children, did you understand the hidden message of this story? We need to hiss at times, but should never bite. Remember, you have to at times express that you will not quietly sit and suffer when someone attempts to harm you. And also remember, we should not harm anyone unnecessarily. So that's the story. Happy learning. May Bhagavan bless you and protect you against all evil. Namaste and bye for now.